Okay, welcome everybody to today's masterclass on attracting financial abundance. I'm really excited to take you on this journey. In case you've never met me before, my name is Nij Day. I'm a success coach and a hypnotherapist. I've actually used the power of manifesting so many times, and I've only done this masterclass once before, and I was thinking I should have done this so many more times to help more people. As a success coach, what I do is I help other people to achieve their goals. For example, one of my clients last year, he managed to earn £350,000 just in 1 year. And before he met me in 2019, and he had nothing to his name. He just had a car, but although he earned a lot of money, he never was able to keep that money. He was always somehow spending it, frittering it away. And that was because of some of the negative beliefs he had. As a success coach, I came along, changed that story. And like I said, now he's earning £350,000 last year. And this year, we're looking to achieve a 7-figure sum for him. So that's what I do. And I'd like to take you also on this journey. So what I wanted to check was that what's your reason? What's your need for having extra money? Why are you on this session today? So the idea of this masterclass, just to give you the kind of perspective, the idea of this masterclass is that I want to help you earn more money, but I don't just want to help you earn more money so that you're working harder. What we want to do is work less hours if possible and enjoy what you do. So if that sounds like you, put a yes in the chat. Yeah, here we go. Lots of yes. That's good. Somebody's put, I'm here to understand my unconscious better and unblock my blocks. Love it. Okay, so that's good. Everybody, we're in the right place. Like I said, I am looking to help you earn more money, but there's also one other, shall I say, hidden agenda that I have. I'm especially looking, let me see if this is you. I'm especially looking for people who also want to contribute, who don't just want to earn more money for themselves so that they can spend it, not flitter it away, but spend it on themselves for luxuries and things like that. Because I'm going to be honest with you, the planet needs people like you who will use their money to impact the lives of others in a positive way. Because there are so many selfish, greedy millionaires out there. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not really interested in making more, helping people to become millionaires just so that they can be greedy and selfish. My hidden agenda is also I'm looking for people who want to make a difference. So with their excess money, of course, once you've kind of dealt with your needs, then that excess money, looking to use that to do better for a start for your family, yes, but also to make a difference to your community, to make a difference possibly to your country, and possibly even on a global scale. Of course, depends on how much more you have. So if that sounds like you're in the right place. That's great. So we have a few options, but it depends on what kind of person you are. So you could just stay where you are and just hope. If you're earning a particular salary, at the end of the year, there's generally an inflation increase, and you get that, I don't know, whatever it is, 1%, 1.5%. Perhaps you get a bonus on top of that, so you get that little bit more. You could just sit there and hope, and that gradually, you'll get more and more money to be able to live your dreams. So that's like the person that I call Vic the Victim. So these are people, generally two categories. One is they just don't really try that hard and they just leave it to fate. Or there's the other side where there's a kind of people who just complain. I'm sure you know the kind of person I'm talking about. Just complain all the time. They're always talking about their problems. There's always some drama going on in their life. Now, I'm going to assume that that's not you, because you've shown up today. You are not just playing the victim, you are trying to do something about it. There are so many people who maybe have seen the advertisement for the masterclass, but didn't bother to sign up, perhaps thinking that, what's the point? It's never going to happen for me, or something like that. Oh, woe is me. But you haven't done that, so that's good. So that's one kind of person, Vic the Victim. We want to definitely move off that platform. Person number 2 is Eric the Enforcer. So this kind of person goes after what they want, but they do it by working harder. They do it by working longer hours. They grind and grind and grind and grind and sometimes grind themselves into the ground, burnout, just exhaustion, and having to take sick leave. And this kind of person has a point to prove to the world. They've got a point to prove to themselves. And because they're always trying to prove themselves, that's why they strive so hard. So if we take Eric, the Enforcer, he's at least more successful than Vic the Victim. So that's agreed. But is there another way? I don't know if you're like me, where you're the kind of person who doesn't just want to work all of the time. You don't just want to give away your time and your energy. So you've got no time left for your family. You've got no time left to serve the community, and you've got no time to hardly enjoy it. I'm sure you all know people out there who just work so hard, and then their weekend is just like literally almost like resting after the hard week. So what's the other option? The other option is person number 3, Mick the Manifester. So Mick doesn't just grind, he uses the power of manifesting. So I'm sure many of you have heard of this concept. So let me know in the chat, what do you understand is manifesting? What do you understand by manifesting? How do we use, what is the power of manifesting? So let me take out the chat so I can see it as we go along. Does it mean the power of affirmation, positive thoughts, using visualization to help you achieve your biggest and deepest desires, envision what you want, projecting what you would like to achieve? Wonderful answers. Anything else? Something that even goes beyond the law of attraction. Interesting, yes. The law of attraction is kind of sets it up very nicely. So for those of you who have read about the law of attraction, there's a book or a video called The Secret. And in there, they talk about the law of attraction. If you haven't read that, it's a good kind of prerequisite to what we're discussing today. Manifesting is a different way of operating. It is a paradigm shift in terms of that, that we're operating from a higher level. We're not operating from this trying to bend reality like Eric the Enforcer. What he's trying to do is, this is what he wants. This is what reality is. And I'm going to try to bend reality so that it becomes the reality that I want. That's a very stressful way of operating. Mick the Manifester operates on a different level. You could even say a higher frequency. And specifically what is required is this principle of surrender. Some of you may have heard of this principle. So Vic the Victim, what does he surrender? He surrenders his dreams. He's resigned to his fate. Woe is me, he's been knocked down to the ground and he stays down. So he's surrendered his dreams. Eric the Enforcer, he surrenders his time and his energy. Is it all about work, stress, bending reality to make it work for me? Sometimes people like Eric the Enforcer, they're in jobs even that they hate, but hey, it pays more money. So at least Eric the Enforcer is still in a better position financially than Vic the Victim. But what we're looking for is less time, what Eric the Enforcer has is less time, less energy. And to be honest, I'm sure many of you are thinking the same thing. What kind of life is that? So Mick the Manifester, what does he surrender? Vic the Victim surrenders his dreams. Eric the Enforcer surrenders his time and energy. What does Mick the Manifester surrender? So he surrenders the need for control. Say that again. Mick the Manifester surrenders the need for control. He surrenders the need to know how first. He surrenders the need to have all the steps, to know all the steps in place to be able to achieve that before he starts his journey. So That's a paradigm shift. Any big goal that you want to achieve, your brain is wired that way to make you question how are you going to do it? How is it going to happen? What if this, what if that, what if that? And so when all these questions come up and almost like bring up threats, the first thing the brain is going to do, because it's designed to protect you, the first thing it's going to do is say, no, don't do it. But surrender is about relinquishing control. And one of my mentors, he told me this statement. He said, control is an illusion. Just sit with that for a moment. Control is an illusion. When we think we can control certain things that are actually out of our control, have you noticed how much stress you go through? Have you noticed how much pain you go through when you're trying to control something that is actually, if you put your hands up, is actually out of your control? So I'm going to ask you to say in the chat, what things do you complain about? What things do you stress over that is actually, when you deep down, when you think about it, is actually out of your control? Please tell me in the chat what things that you stress about are actually completely out of your control, if you're actually hand on heart honest with yourself. Other people's behavior, absolutely. Ask a parent. Parents are always trying to absolutely control their kids. It's a very difficult thing to do, a very stressful job. Emotional reciprocation, interesting. So in other words, other people's reciprocation with you. When you die, yes, I have absolutely no control over those things. Other things like the weather, the stupidity and incompetence of others at work. Absolutely. So many things that we don't actually have control over yet we're desperately trying to control them. So I want to go over some of the principles of manifesting. So manifesting is about creating that desire, creating that dream, shall we say, and making it happen in reality. So there are a few principles in order to actually make this happen. So we've spoken about one of them. The first one is surrendering control. So we need to surrender control. The second thing, so the core principle here is we have to believe it. We have to believe that whatever that thing is, I'm just going to put it out there. Let's say all of us wanted to become a millionaire. I don't know whatever it is for you. You're all here for, there's some financial goal that you're here for. But let's just, for the sake of the session, let's say we all wanted to become millionaires. It might be different for you. For some of you, maybe you're already millionaires. Maybe you're looking to become 2 millionaires. Maybe you're looking to become 10 millionaires. Whatever, the actual levels, the actual numbers will vary for every single person here. But whatever it is for you, it's obviously it's higher than what you are earning right now. So the first core principle is that you've got to believe that you can achieve whatever that is. That's the first principle. And then there's 5 subsidiary principles around that. So we spoke about the first one, which is to surrender the how. And then the second one is for you to believe independent of your external situation right now. Now this one, the reason why I put the second is, and when I talk about it early on, is this one is one of the hardest ones to do. Because when we are in a difficult situation right now, what happens is generally we tend to project that into the future. So let's explore this principle. So I've got a diagram here. So good is at the top, bad is at the bottom, and then along the axis is time. So if we said our life is going, in the direction of it being good, and if this is today, then what happens is which way do you project your life is going to go? So generally speaking, we project in the direction that we are in currently. So if things are going great for you right now, we project it will continue, right? We project it's going to continue in that direction. So in that situation, in one sense, that's fine. It's easy to manifest, to be in a position to be able to manifest, to project. Yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want, and this is exact figure, etc. That you want, because you already are going in that direction. Now the difficulty comes when, what if your life is going in that direction, or even, let's just say, if it's just plateauing. So what generally tends to happen, somebody's saying the mind is still fickle, and it can still forecast downwards, even if things are going good. Yes, that's also true. But especially when things are not going good, or they're just plateauing, we'll either look in that direction, or we'll be looking in that direction. This is today. We generally tend to project into the future whatever is going on right now. So if it's a negative, we tend to project into that. Oh my God, I've got bills to pay. Like some of you are in that situation where you are literally trying to keep your head above water. You're trying to pay the bills. Expenses have increased. Inflation has increased so much in the UK. Bills are higher, gas is higher, etc. And that plays on your mind. How am I going to pay the bills? And so, some people might be in that situation, in that kind of crisis situation. And so what happens is we're constantly focusing on lack. I'll say that again. What happens is, in that situation, that stressful situation, we are constantly focusing on what we're lacking. When it comes to paying a bill, we pay it so begrudgingly, because it's like, oh my God, I'm losing what little money I do have. And I don't know if you see your kind of bank balance going down and down, and then at the end of the month when you get paid, it goes back and it's like that. It's like a little breath of fresh air before gradually it goes down again. So if some of us are living in those kind of conditions, I understand. It's very difficult to start thinking about, let me become a millionaire, or let's say let me become 100,000 in that situation, because we're so far, we're so used to thinking about lack. We're so used to projecting into the future of how things are already as they are. And so manifesting requires us to shift from that, move away from that. It's a paradigm shift. And despite what is going on in our environment, is to project positively. So one person was asking me the other day, isn't it bad to think about the future? And I said, no, it's not bad to think about the future if you're thinking about it positively. So in that situation where the environment is causing us, shall we say, stressful emotions, what happens is we then justify those emotions, and we get into what I call the emotions and excuse cycle. So because we have because we're feeling that particular stress or that particular way, we need to justify that. We need to give a reason, an explanation as to why that is. And so therefore we come up with excuses. And as a result of that, those excuses, or that story, that negative story that's being played, then feeds the emotions, which then helps you to justify your excuses. You see where I'm going? So the environment is what we could say is what is triggering us, is making us feel those crappy emotions in the first place. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm doing a presentation for the manager, say for the team as well. And this could get me noticed for that promotion. This could be my opportunity to earn more. But I'm feeling nervous and I'm not confident in myself. So now I justify it with an excuse. So I've just come up with a silly one here. I've done it on purpose. Let's say I'm too chubby or too fat to get the promotion. Everyone's going to be looking at me while I'm doing the presentation, and I'm so chubby and I'm fat. Oh, they're gonna put me forward. They're not going to want to listen to me. And so what that does is, is it feeds that feeling of nervousness, feeds that feeling of not being confident in yourself. And you can see how this just makes things actually can spiral downwards, because then when the presentation doesn't go well, then we make up another excuse as to why it didn't, and then we're actually feeding it. Now we're feeling crappy about ourselves, and more excuses are there, and it just spirals downwards. So I've used a silly excuse here because I just want to put forward the idea that excuses are sometimes preposterous. Excuses are sometimes silly. So this one, we can see clearly it's silly. But what if we had the excuse that, actually, I need a qualification to get promoted? And that was the reason why. I mean, that could be shall we say, a potentially legitimate excuse. You know, I need to have X before I can get promoted. This is the same principle going on here. The same principle that there is something I lack. And again, it's going back to this principle of when I feel lack, that is what I'm putting out into the universe. That is the energy that I'm giving out. And as a result of focusing on lack, what happens is that creates more of the same emotion. It feeds that emotion. So this is what we need to get out of. So what if I told you that you're already worthy? Listen to what I'm saying. What if I told you that you are already worthy? You're already worthy of whatever financial status that you want to have. What if I told you you're already worthy? And financial abundance is just waiting for you, right? But we need you to be ready first. So how does that feel? But let me just tell you a quick story just to illustrate this. So there was one young girl who was very attached to playing with her fake pearl necklace. And she'd wear it every day. It was her favorite present. She got it on her birthday. And every day she would play with this pearl necklace. And the father, very loving father, he noticed this. So one day he came into her room to say goodnight to her. And he said to the little girl, to his daughter, that please give me the necklace. And she said, no, Daddy, this is my favorite necklace. I'm never giving this away. It's like she slept with it. She took it to school, etc. She was so attached to them. So every night, this father would come in and say, please give me this necklace. And every night she would say no. Until finally, one evening, when the father came into the room, he saw that she was sitting there on the bed and she was teary. And so the father asked her, like, what's wrong? And the daughter said that, Daddy, every day you ask me for that necklace. And I feel so bad every day I say no. So today, Daddy, tears in her eyes, she gave that necklace to him. She gave that fake pearl necklace to him. And the father was so happy. He took it, put it in his pocket. And from the other pocket, he reached in and there was a beautiful jewelry box. And he opened the jewelry box. And in there was a pure, real pearl necklace. And the father told her, it's like, I was just waiting for you to give up this fake necklace before I could give you this one. Before you could be ready to receive this. So what does that story mean for you? What that story can mean different things, but in this particular instance, we're talking about you are already worthy. And sometimes sometimes it's about you being ready, you believing that you are ready, that you are worthy, then the universe can give you that wealth. There are so many cases of people who became millionaires because of a windfall. Either they won the lottery or they got a, what's it called, inheritance. So they got massive sums of money, but they weren't ready to receive it. They weren't able to handle it. Well, there's one case, if you read on some of these news sites, there's one case where he actually committed suicide in the end. You would have thought he's won £10 million or 10 million Canadian dollars, I think it was. And you would have thought that's it. His life is sorted for the rest of his life. But his life was so pear-shaped that he ended up killing himself. So are you ready? And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking to shift in terms of ourselves, in terms of manifesting. We're looking to shift that negative consciousness, to bring it to this point where, yes, I am ready. I am worthy. So if you are already worthy, just hold on to that point for a moment. Even if you don't believe it, just pretend that you believe it. Hold on to that point for one moment. If I told you you are already worthy and you believe that, how would that make you feel? Hopefully you'll start to feel more confident. You'll start to feel good about yourself. And of course, that then justifies, that then reinforces that, not an excuse anymore, but that statement, that belief that you are already worthy. And then that makes you feel more confident and good about yourself, which reinforces, see where I'm going? And now all of a sudden we're spiraling upwards, upwards rather than downwards. So manifesting means to believe whatever it is that we want, and that we will be able to achieve it, despite the environment, despite what's going on in the external world right now. So it is a paradigm shift. And what we're doing is we're using the internal world to influence the external world. Now, notice I didn't use the word control. And here's the science behind it. I'm going to try and please forgive my drawings. So the what's it called? The HeartMath Institute. They have been examining electromagnetic fields of the body. And what they found is that the heart actually has the most powerful magnetic field. It comes from the heart. So I attempted to do a drawing, but these are electromagnetic waves that are coming out from the heart area, and they're 3D. So they go all the way around. So they go all the way around. It's coming out from here, and you can imagine like the wave coming back to the as the heart as the center point. So we actually, as humans, we give out, everything actually gives out an electromagnetic field, but especially it comes from the heart. And what's interesting is that the heart, the magnetic field is 60 times stronger than that of the brain. So what does that tell us? The heart is more important, more than the brain. People think, oh, it's about thinking. No, it's about the heart. The heart is much more powerful in terms of influencing the external world, in terms of manifesting. We have to bring the heart in line with the head in order to be able to manifest. That's the kind of science behind it. So the idea is that by manifesting, we change the frequency, we change the output, we change the energy that's coming out from the heart. So now that is more able to influence the external world. If I've got lack, if all I'm thinking about is lack, if that's the energy that I'm giving out, then the external world reacts to that by showing me lack. More bills, higher bills. All of a sudden, I parked on you're driving on the M1 motorway, you get flashed by the cameras, and it's like a £300 fine, and then your car insurance goes up because you've got 3 points on your license. Like, if I've got lack, that's what I'm going to attract. If I've got abundance, the feeling, the conviction of abundance, and I'm emanating that, guess what the universe responds with? Abundance. And it's really interesting. I've been meditating on this like quite a lot, preparing for this. And interestingly, 2 of my clients recently gave me £50 extra, completely out of the blue. They didn't tell me that they were doing it. And I was thinking, that's really interesting how I've been manifesting and focusing on abundance, and somebody's decided, 2 people have decided to do that. I thought that's not a coincidence, because it never happened before. So, and I'm going to tell you, actually, I'll tell you my story in a little while, of how I've been manifesting for many, many years financially. So, okay, so that was the first 2 principles. So surrendering control, and then being independent of the external environment currently. The third principle is conviction. And specifically what we're talking about here is crushing your limiting beliefs. Going back to the principle of the heart connection with the head, like making that connection strong. When there's a lot of limiting beliefs, if I said to you, okay, you're worthy of becoming a millionaire, and all of a sudden all of these limiting beliefs come up. Oh, what about this? What about that? And what ifs? And oh, I've only ever earned like 30,000 or whatever it is that comes up. See, those are all our limiting beliefs. And this is very natural, don't get me wrong. So we have to go through a process of crushing those limiting beliefs. So what I've developed is this process using a success story template. Every great movie will always start with a script. And that's the same of your life. You are the hero or the heroine of of this movie. And it needs to start with a script. So there's 5 aspects to a script, and that's who are you? What's your mission? What's your mindset? What's your mood? And then to give you momentum. So I've designed an online course that takes you through that very systematically. It's a 10 video course. I'll just quickly show it to you. Sorry. So I'll just quickly show you what it looks like to give you that as an option. So you can see here, so when you go into the library, and then you'll have the Success Breakthrough Workshop. There's 5 videos here, it talks about success, what the ingredients for success, and then it goes through each of those steps. So me, mission, mindset, mood, and then momentum, like that. And then you create your story, you create your movie story overall. And that's your script for going forward in life. Yeah, so use that as your template. And in the process of doing that, what we do is we crush your limiting beliefs. Now, specifically, limiting beliefs are like, you could be making progress in your journey, in whatever your financial journey. And that's like having a foot on the accelerator. So maybe you're really pushing for whatever it is that you're trying to push for. But if at the same time you've got your foot on the brake, even if you're moving forward, how much more energy does that take? It's like you're burning. I remember there's one time I was on the motorway, and I noticed the fuel gauge had gone down a lot. And I was thinking, when I go to London, so I live in Birmingham, when I was going to London, it's like, it doesn't normally take that much fuel. Then I looked down at the gear stick, and I realized I was only in, I think it was 4th gear or 5th gear, one down from the top gear at that time. And I was like, oh my God, then I put it into the higher gear. Or if you've ever driven with the handbrake on by accident, the light comes up, but nowadays the cars make a sound. But in the olden days, shall we say, you'd have the handbrake up, but it wouldn't actually make a sound. So there's times where I've driven with the handbrake on, I'm like, why am I having to press so hard on the accelerator? It's the same principle. So we may be making progress, but if we're fighting ourselves, fighting all these negative thoughts at the same time as trying to achieve, your financial goals, then that's burning a lot of, unnecessarily, it's burning a lot of energy. So we use the success story template to design your story and then crush your limiting beliefs. And that's effectively like taking your foot off the brake pedal. That's what we need to do. So that, for those of you who are interested, that online course is £199. However, stay till the end and yeah, we'll talk. So just in terms of financial to achieve your financial target, there are two different types of negative beliefs that we can have. So one of them is regards money. So there can be negative beliefs about money. And the second aspect is that there can be negative beliefs about yourself. So today I'm just going to focus on the beliefs about money. What are some of the negative beliefs that we might have around money? So for example, money is the root of all evil. So imagine if that is there and we're talking about becoming a millionaire or 2 millionaire, but yet money is the root of all evil. How do you think that you're going to become a millionaire when that's what the story about money is? Especially if you have a strong value that you want to stay good. If money is going to make you evil, that's a block. Are there any others? Is there anything else that you can think of? Anything else that you're aware of in yourself? What your limiting beliefs around money? Okay, what about yourself? What about your worthiness of money? Money corrupts. Money is not easy, as in to make money is not easy. Money attaches us to the material world. Yes, money binds us. Right? All these negative things that we have about financial freedom, shall we say. You can never be financially free when you've got those kind of things going on. So we need to change those negative beliefs. We need to create a positive story regards money, so that pushes forward on that side. And at the same time, we need to change the negative story, the negative dialogue about ourselves, and then that can push us right forward to whatever is our financial goal. But definitely, while we've got that negative story playing in our head, we're not going to achieve, and this is the key thing here, we're not going to achieve our potential. Because often people ask me, oh, you're talking about increasing your financial status. What if it's not in your destiny? Some people use the word karma. What if it's not in your karma? What if it's not in your destiny to be able to achieve that? Okay, that could be the case. But the first question is, what is your story regards money? What is your story regards yourself? Oh, it's not good. Well, the first thing I can tell you is you're not achieving your potential. Whatever that potential is, we're talking about becoming a millionaire. Maybe in somebody's destiny, they're never going to become a millionaire. That's okay. We're not talking about specifically, whatever the number is, it's different. Like I was saying earlier, it's different for every single person. But the point here is, are you achieving your potential? And if we've got a negative story about money or we've got a negative story about ourselves, the answer is definitely no. You're not achieving your potential. And that's the first point here, is that we're trying to unblock those negative stories in order for you to achieve whatever the numbers are for you. Like I said, for some of you, you're already a millionaire. You're looking maybe to become a 2 millionaire, a 10 millionaire, whatever it is. For somebody, maybe they're earning £10,000, maybe they're earning 20,000, 30,000. You're looking for 40 or 50, whatever it is for you. But the point is, if you've got negative beliefs, you can get more easily when you unblock it. And so this is, I'll just briefly share, my story in that regards. I used to be a software engineer. For 18 years, I was actually a software engineer, but always in my spare time, I was coaching and actually doing hypnotherapy. And when the pandemic hit, I got made redundant, and that was the time for me to become full-time coach, success coach, and hypnotherapist. But let me just briefly tell you how I used manifesting for my financial status while I was a software engineer. So I started on a graduate salary and reached, just through inflation, I reached this, but then I plateaued for this for 3 years. I was actually on disciplinary, like it, shall I say, embarrasses me to say this, but for 3 years I was on disciplinary and they didn't increase my salary because they were literally this close to firing me. And it was at this point here, that was, you could say, was a turning point. Is I remember doing a piece of work. So I wrote a software document, explanation of how this thing worked. And I gave it to the manager. And I remember at the time, while I was writing it, thinking, oh my God, this is not good enough. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. I rushed it. And I was saying to myself, this is not good enough. The manager came into the office. I still remember at that point. He didn't slam it down, but he put it down in front of me and said, Nidge, this is not good enough. And it was like a thunderbolt in my heart, because that's when I realized, well, hang on a second. I had been manifesting that it's not good enough, because that's what I was constantly thinking about. One great coach, Tony Robbins, he has a phrase that where focus goes, energy flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. So if we're thinking about lack, if we're thinking about we're not good enough, guess what? The universe is going to reflect that back to you. That's where the energy goes. And when I had that realization that, oh my God, that is what I already predicted. So I thought, well, what if I change that? What if I changed it to not that it's not, I'm not good enough. What if I changed it to, I am invincible? I didn't just want to be, I'm enough. I went the other extreme. I'm a bit of an extremist sometimes like that. I am invincible. And it was at that point that a massive shift happened once I embedded that. So I shed the old negative belief and I embedded the new belief. The very next, when I got my next job, I went for a new job. I had an 11K increase. And then from there, I think it was something like a 12K increase. And then from there, another, I think it was in 15 or something like that. I can't remember the exact figures now off the top of my head. And let's just say my salary overall, I'm not saying whether it was or wasn't, but just for this example, let's just say I got to 85K. And I would have continued if I hadn't jumped. But the first point here that I'm trying to raise to you is that here, at this point here, I was saying, I am not good enough. And that's the first point here. Because as soon as, if this was like a block, as soon as I unblocked that, look at what happened to my financial progress. And that's what I'm talking about here. So whether you are, whatever is your so-called destiny in terms of the numbers, we're not concerned with that. The first thing we're concerned with is, first of all, unblock those limiting beliefs. Believe that you are worthy. Work on that aspect. So just take it back to the slideshow. So we want to unblock your potential. So that was number 3. Number 4 is we've got to make the goal specific and exciting. So going back to the whole point that our heart needs to feel and needs to emanate that feeling of abundance into your field, into your EMF, your electromagnetic field that's around you, which then ultimately influences the universe. Then if that goal, if that mission is not exciting enough, I don't know if you said, okay, let's say I want to earn more money. Okay, so, okay, here you go. Here's £1. There you go. You've got more money. No, Nidge. More than £1. Well, okay. Here's £2. There you go. Now you've got more money than you had, £2 more than you had before. No. You see where I'm going with this? If you're not specific, the universe will react accordingly. So what we want is for us to be very specific. So put the exact figure that you want, and also make that figure so that it's exciting for you. £1 is clearly, £2 is clearly not exciting for anybody. But what is it for you? Is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 50,000 more? What is it for you? What's the numbers for you? And make it so that it's exciting. I'll be honest with you. I remember I created a story for myself, and the number was too low, and I wasn't motivated. And only when I increased the number, then I was like, yeah, now you're talking. Now I felt like as a challenge. Now I felt like, you know, something worthy of myself, like that. So again, this is part of, so that part would be in writing a story. That part would be in this part here, the mission part. So you'd write the exact figure that you're looking for. And then the final part is the final sub-principle, subsidiary principle, is as if now. And to be honest, that is what ultimately helps you to believe it. That is what ultimately helps you to have that conviction in it. So as if you've already achieved it, you've got to think about it as if you've already achieved it. So now I'm going to ask you to have a go at doing this, right? Because this is a paradigm shift. I'm going to ask you to manifest and visualize not just the numbers, let's say, but I want you to visualize, what are you actually doing with that money? How are you using it to benefit yourself, to benefit your family, to benefit others? So for example, I've got one thing in my vision is I've got a wad of cash and I'm donating it to one of the communities that I'm part of. I've got a wad, it's like physical wad of cash. Yeah, you can see this. Yep. I've got lots of cash like this, and I'm physically donating it. And when I manifest like that, like physically touching it and seeing the smile and the elation on the person's face that I'm giving it to, sometimes, if I'm honest with you, it brings me to tears. So that's the kind of thing we're looking for, that when you manifest, when you achieve that particular goal, what does it do for you? What emotions does it create? How are you radiating from your heart into the field, into your EMF? How are you radiating? What are you radiating? What energy are you radiating? What energy are you radiating? And that's why I was saying that I'm also looking for people who are willing to use their excess money to contribute to making an impact in this world. So we want to, I'm going to do the exercise with you in a moment. I've got a stopwatch here. I'm going to ask you to manifest for 1 minute. So I want you to see it, I want you to feel it, I want you to hear it. If there's any sounds there, live it, like make it HD quality, make it so that it's as if you are experiencing it right now. It's not a future thing. You are already in the future. It's like I put you in a time machine and I put you there. And you're actually there. You get out the time machine and it's like you are living that moment. You've already achieved it. There's no what ifs. There's no how did I do it? You don't care. It's you are living it right now. You are experiencing it right now. And that's the gateway into the quantum field, shall we say. Okay, so I hope you're all ready. So if you can sit with your feet flat on the floor, if possible. Obviously, if you're driving, stop driving, because you won't be able to do this. If it's safe to do so, of course. And if there's anything, I don't know, if you're cooking or something, turn the gas off so that it's safe to do. Just 1 minute, I'm going to ask you to try this. Ask you to experience the power of manifesting. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to close your eyes in a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and go into that moment. Actually, let's do it now. So take a nice deep breath, close your eyes, and now go to that moment. Experience it as if it's happening right now. That moment where you've achieved that goal, where you know with absolute certainty that you've achieved that goal. See it through your eyes, hear through your ears, and feel through your body right now. Feel how amazing this moment is right now, how exciting it is. Notice who else is there. Notice the smile on your face. Notice how you're feeling through every vein of your body right now. And if the intensity is not a 10 right now, begin to turn it up. Turn up the intensity till you feel it at level 10 right now. Like you're radiating this energy out from your heart right now. Feel how good that feels to be in that moment right now. You've done it. You've achieved it. Doesn't matter about the how. It's done. With that certainty, with that conviction, I'm going to ask you to come back up. As I count up to 5, come back up feeling fully refreshed and carrying that power within you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, please tell me in the chat, how did that feel? That was just 1 minute, 20 seconds. But tell me how did that feel? Everybody's gone quiet. I think they're still, some of you may still not want to come back from that. I do understand. Ecstatic, amazing. Yes, wonderful. So this is the power of manifesting, and manifesting puts you in that zone. It creates that energy from the field. So what I hope you've enjoyed today. Really liked. That's great. Felt so good. My heart is still overjoyed, indescribable. Yeah, it's exactly the point. So imagine you did this every single day. Imagine you did this for 5 minutes in one go. Imagine you did this 3 times, 5 minutes a day. What that would do, how that is now influencing the external world. And this is what we're looking to do. So I've only been able to do a little bit today. What I'm going to do now is invite you all to become millionaires, or whatever it is for you, 10 millionaires for some of you, 2 millionaires. For some of you, maybe it's 30,000 pound heirs, 40,000 pound heirs, I don't know, whatever it is, 100,000 pound heir, whatever it is for you. I want to invite you to come together as a group, and let's go on this journey together. So I've planned to do a 4-day attracting financial abundance challenge. So the first day, Tuesday, the 6th of June, again 6 till 7, Wednesday, Thursday, and then a little bit of a break, and then do it on Sunday as well. So the idea is that billionaires, somebody says, okay. That might be a little bit too high, but we'll talk about it. Like, how do we know what's realistic? How do we know what's an exciting goal, but don't make it so big? That these are the kind of things we need to talk about in more detail. In the process of doing manifesting, there will be challenges. I haven't had time to speak about them today, but in this 4-day challenge, we will be speaking about the pitfalls to watch out for, the potholes. If you're not watching out for it, you will stop manifesting. You will stop the process of doing it. But what you don't realize is that is part of the process. So there's a lot more detail that I need to go through with you. As we said earlier, the Success Breakthrough Workshop is £199, a 10-video online course that helps you develop the success story using the template, helps you to develop your personal success story. That's £199. So that is going to be included in this 4-day challenge. There's a manifesting meditation track worth £49. That is also going to be included, and the 4-day challenge. So now I was thinking, how much should we charge for it? And £100, £200, £400. I was thinking, well, you're all here because you want to do your best, and we want to make this as take out the money factor. So I'm going to give you all of that for £40. But what I will say is the 2 bonuses there, the Success Breakthrough Workshop and the Manifesting Meditation Track, those are limited time offers only. So you've got till tomorrow to book this if you want all three. And you've got till the 31st of March if you want the Success Breakthrough Workshop, that goes through the success story template. So if you know you're going to come on this, just book it today. It's £40. I'll be sending you the link via email. It's actually straight after this. If you check your emails, you'll get the link for this, but it's actually here already. And I'm happy to stay back if there are any questions, if there's anything else we want to discuss. But if you're not going to come on, continue with this journey, I hope today helped you. I hope you'll take away something from today, and it will help you increase your financial status. If you are coming on the journey with us, then yes, we have some very exciting times ahead together. So what I will say is, do you want to stay like this? Or do you want to become this? Unlocking your potential. Join us if you want to come with us on this journey. So anybody have any questions? I love the comments about how amazing you felt after doing that. And that was literally just 1 minute. Can you imagine you did it for 5 minutes? Yes, the entire package is £40. Yes, I know it's ridiculous. Even I'm looking at that thinking, like, are you serious? But yes, I am serious. The reason why is because I want you to come on this journey with us. When we become millionaires, you can pay me more later. In fact, actually, I forgot to say this. I've put on a minimum £40. If anybody feels generous, because I don't know what your financial situation is. So for some of you, £40 is a lot of money right now. For some of you, £40 is like absolutely like easy. If you want to donate more, you're more than welcome to. Somebody actually donated, gave £199 because they wanted to pay for the Success Breakthrough package. It's up to you. But yeah, the idea of it being £40 is so that it's a no-brainer. Even on benefits, I can afford it. Yes, that's the whole idea. If I'm honest with you, there's something I've got planned is that one day I want to teach manifesting to some of these homeless people in Birmingham, and maybe we'll see their journey, and then them becoming like somebody, get back into society. And amazing. Anybody can do this. Just we need to be taught how. And we also need the inspiration to do it. So today, in one sense, you could say I've given you the information, but the 4-day challenge will give you the inspiration, and also ultimately what we're looking for is the transformation to be able to do it. Yes, if you are going to miss 1 or 2 days, or even all 4 days, you'd still book on it because the recordings will be available. And then what I'll just ask you to do is, if you have any questions, to email those questions. All the information will be there. You can email those questions, and then I will answer those questions in the sessions themselves. And then so you can just go to the recording and you can see. Go to the web page, and if you know you're going to join, let's get started. Let's get excited. Okay, so I will end it there. Thank you so much to everybody. I'm really honored to have taken you on this journey, and I hope for some of you at least, we'll continue the journey together in the 4-day challenge later on. Okay, take care, everybody. Have a good day or good evening. Take care. Bye-bye.